Hello everyone! Before I begin today's topic, I would like to invite you to check out my blog where I post my thoughts daily. You will find the link in the description below. Many people claim that I am not a romantic. However, I consider myself truly the most romantic person on the entire planet, and I will explain why. I am not a romantic in the conventional sense of that most people think of. I don't see romanticism as the act of satisfying every wish of a partner. It is curious to note that many women define the concept in that way, but the truth is that the notion of romantic relationships has undergone profound changes over the centuries. For example, originally, romanticism was defined by the human being's relationship with wild nature rather than human nature itself. Historically, from the time we were nomadic hunter-gatherers, life was extremely difficult and wild nature proved to be harsh. There was no room for error. It was necessary to be constantly alert, to hunt or gather food. And a simple illness was terrible news. However, with the Renaissance and neoclassicism and the advancement of scientific thought, we began to believe that nature could be manipulated and that it existed only to serve us. At the end of the 18th century, Romanticism emerged as a cultural, artistic and intellectual movement. It was a reaction against the excessive importance attributed at the time to rationalism and science. This movement valued emotion, subjectivity, imagination, and individual freedom, placing feeling above reason. And in the face of the transformations of that time, being the Industrial and French revolutions, romantics felt a need for escape and a mirror for the human soul through wild nature. Nature, once seen as dangerous, began to be perceived as something compliant and even therapeutic, capable of healing and awakening feelings of passion for the landscape. This appreciation of nature facilitated the release of oxytocin, creating a connection of appreciation that was eventually transposed to human relationships later on. The belief emerged that the relationship between a man and a woman could be loving and nurturing rather than being only functional or utilitarian. It is fundamental to understand that neither nature nor a partner offers us serotonin or oxytocin in a plate, so to speak. We are the ones who produce these sensations internally. The other, be it the partner or wild nature, serves just as a switch or facilitator so that we can awaken those feelings of love and belonging. Normally, women view their partner as a landscape of some sort, from which they expect to extract resources and find refuge. This is only natural, but this view also generates a demand and expectation that the other must constantly nurture and serve the partner's ego, which constitutes a naive and incomplete romanticism. It is analogous to thinking that wild nature only does good, forgetting that it also contains viruses, bacteria, and dangers that can be fatal for those who are unprepared. To ignore the dangers and negative aspects both of wild nature and of people, the human nature, it is a form of being naive. I believe that true romanticism, if something like that exists, and I'm borrowing the term romanticism in a looser sense. So, if true romanticism does exist, it must be realistic. It implies recognizing human nature in its totality, accepting that it possesses both a good and a bad side. It is not about dominating or subjugating the other, a man subjugating a female, or the other way around, as wild nature cannot be totally subjugated as well, but rather considering the individuality and selfishness inherent of both members of this duality. Love should be directed towards nature as a whole, nature with capital N, recognizing both its dangers and its counterbalances. I consider myself deeply romantic because I believe that I have the necessary openness to accept nature in its totality. True love applies to nature with a capital N, integrating both the wild and the human aspects. I do not follow the common sense of always offering flowers or something equivalent, fulfilling every wish, as if wild nature would as well always offer flowers and good stuff to fulfill our need for happiness. And this is simply not so. This would fuel an illusion that the partner must be constantly be at the service of another, just as we once thought wild nature would be. True romanticism lies in the understanding and acceptance that no one offers love to anyone. We are the ones who must be open to awaken that feeling within ourselves. And that's all for today, a shorter video. Hope you like it, and if you do, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I see you next time.